Hello and welcome to K-Stop Fuses K-Pop Podcast. Hello everybody, this is Jeff Benjamin, and as always I am joined by the Dean to my Suran, Tina Zhu.
Hello.
Is that how
I
we
missed
pronounce
y'all.
Suran?
Suran, yes.
Yes, okay.
Suran.
Just double checking. Yes, I
Love
missed
her.
everyone too. I know.
We'll talk about that
Yeah,
more
I'm so
later.
obsessed with this EP, but we will get to all of that soon enough. How's it going, Tina?
It's going well. Another kind of dreary Tuesday. I feel like Monday, like there's been a lot of weeks lately. We've been getting a lot of rain up in New York.
It's true.
So it's still feeling, I guess technically it isn't summer yet, but it should feel like it's summer since it's after Memorial Day. But the weather is not reflective of that.
No, it's been terrible. So rainy.
yeah.
So sad.
But other than that, I feel like this week's started off pretty well. How about yourself?
It's been a pretty good week. There's like it's like I feel like it's almost like the calm before the storm, before we have like a ton of comebacks coming up in terms of K-pop this week, and there's been some crazy K-pop news this week. So
Yes.
you know what? We'll just I mean, who do we have? G-Dragon coming up, and I've been hearing good things about that. Hear some big things are in store.
And there's a rumor that Taeyong's coming back after
right after him,
right after GD. I hope that's true.
I hope so too. I love
like
that album.
he, you know, I don't think I've ever disliked any of his releases. Ring-a-Linga was questionable, not my favorite.
Ring-a-Ling, I love that song.
Oh my god. But yes, long overdue Taeyong single.
Yeah, so excited.
Waiting on that.
Day 6 album coming. So many good things. Yes.
We sadly cannot accommodate
yeah, I know.
Day 6's June release for this week, but next week for sure.
Yeah.
And the teasers sound great.
Oh, really? Oh, I haven't even listened to the teasers yet, but yeah. Yes. So it's going to be a big week for K-pop coming up, and so next week's episode is a must listen. But every week is always a must listen because
Obviously.
you guys are always, as we say, as much as this show is a part of this show as we are. We have some comments that we, of course, like to get to before we get into today's topics. So first and foremost, we have a couple. We have a couple different comments. So
I have one. I'm going to make sure I throw out when it's appropriate.
Ooh, well, just throw it out right now.
No,
then I'm curious.
Do you?
Okay.
Am I fit in the flow of your tweets that you're reading?
Okay. Well, the first one I saw, it came from What Will Said, who's at WELILE_21, Willile21. Not really sure. Totally sure how to
He knows who he is.
You know who you are, What Will Said. And if you don't follow him, he's so fun. He's always got great comments and great always talking about something that everyone in the K-pop world is talking about. A must follow as well.
For sure.
But I really I thought this was an interesting comment. He said, if I were FNC, I would position AOA as the next summer girl group. Right now, AOA have no positioning, and they could take Sistars, #K-Stop, because last week we obviously talked about Sistar and they're disbanding, and talked about our favorite songs, how they were the queens of summer for 6-7 years or something. And yeah, I think that's an interesting tactic. I mean, I don't know if you're choosing AOA because you're a big fan of AOA, Will, but ultimately I think it's an interesting, I mean, I think, that spot could also ultimately be up for grabs for anyone,
Yeah, I think the fact that they had that Baywatch looking concept definitely helped.
Time? Yeah.
I can see it happening. I do feel like they don't have a strong enough kind of not that you have to have a vocal presence to be that, but just that's what I
see what you're saying.
I'm so used to hearing that from Sistar, and because
Summer's big belty,
Summer's very boom and in your face, and I think Sistar always had that it factor that drew you to them, and they always had a lot of energy and just made it look like you wanted to hang out with them and just go to the boardwalk with them and chill. And I don't know if I get that from AOA.
AOA are kind of they're fun girls, but they also might steal your boyfriends, and they, it might you kind of are I totally get what he's saying. Like, I know what he's thinking, but I'm wondering if it's like AOA as well. You know, there's like they got a bit more edge to them. You know, they have a different feel.
Know.
I say, "Oh My Girl" should go ahead and take, because after that incredible reggae cover that they did last year.
Okay.
I'm kidding. Tina's looking at me
like,
with disgust.
And
right
did I
now.
just miss something?
I just want "Oh My Girl" to succeed. They did okay with that. They did that kind of okay reggae song.
Okay.
Last year, if you remember, it's called "Aing," and it was a minor hit for them.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
Small hit.
Oh, I remember now. Yeah, I didn't like that.
I'm just ready for "Oh My Girl" to take over whenever they're ready.
Who else could be a potential successor? I don't know enough girl groups. All the ones I know are like disbanded.
Pristine.
I was about to say, I mean, we haven't.
But they're too.
We've only seen one release from them.
Right. They could take it over, I guess. They seem fun, but I feel like there's more to them than just being happy.
CLC. No, I'm just kidding.
CLC. Oh gosh, they need something too. They need something to position themselves. I saw like a photo of them recently. I was like, oh yeah, this girl group that. So confused.
Yeah. Oh, so time for my tweet.
Oh, okay.
The tweet that I received. It fits.
I'm ready.
So y'all remember Jeff just shooting down my favorite Sistar song contribution because I love Shady Girl.
I never said I shot it down.
Yes,
I said
you
it's
said
the
it
worst
was.
song.
You said it's the worst song. What?
That doesn't mean it's a bad song. Sistar's a lot of great songs.
Whatever.
If it's their worst song, it's probably a compliment.
Whatever. But I said I kind of buffered it by saying I love it more out of nostalgia. If it was released now, I'd probably be like, oh, it's like okay. But Danielle Van Vuren, Yeller Van, on Twitter, tweeted me and said, listen to Shady Girl for the first time ever today and enjoyed it without any nostalgia.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm not the only one.
With that tired beat and that.
Oh, God. Okay, moving on.
I just did not. I think when you compare it to all of Sistar's songs,
that's fair. It's pretty basic, but it was one of the. It was like the first song that made me really like them because I didn't like Push Push.
Are they really saying the Shady Girl in it? Are they saying the Korean version of whatever Shady is? They say it sounds like they're saying like Dashi Girl.
Yeah. That's
Gashi?
like essentially the translation.
Okay. Because I was always like,
Gashi.
oh my gosh, they're not. I was like, why would they give them this word if it's so tough for them to pronounce? But instead, it was a completely different word.
Saying? Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I felt bad for them. Okay, great. Now that we got that figured out, and then we also got another shout out for Shady Girl. This came from HOB Hobie Please at on Twitter at HOBIPLZ, and they wrote, just listen to last week's hashtag K-Stop and I'm Team Tina. I just listened to Shady Girl by Sistar and I love it.
Yes.
Thanks for a great podcast.
Yes, thank you.
So, I'm just getting torn up here, but you know what? I stand by what I said.
I have my supporters.
I said what I said and I stand by it. But yes, as you guys know, there are.
It is a very polarizing song, I guess.
I just
don't
know.
Well, just because I feel like it was released prior to their peak, so you either like listen to it, or you're either familiar with it or not familiar with it, or if you were familiar with it, you didn't really pay much attention or something. So I don't know. I feel like most people that I've talked to about it, they either like it or they really don't care for it.
Well, what I'm also saying is that, my whole thing with them is that, at the time, because, it was before their peak. It was when they really needed to break out. And then, to make that your second single, when, a second single kind of make or break you.
Yeah.
It just did not bring. Granted, they were fine. They were always fine. I think they won their first, music program show, in a week or two or something. They were always doing just fine.
That EP was really good, too. It was only, 4 tracks. But the intro featured B2K and was fucking random.
Yeah, B2K was on it. I always thought that was a joke. I was like, oh, this is a
actually
typo.
Well, B2K wasn't doing shit without Marianne, so they were probably like, yeah, random feature, and they were just in the back like, Sistar, yeah, it's B2K, and doing like hype man status, and then they're like, okay, bye.
I love B2K.
Very random.
I know. I feel like B2K might have done something else, or did Omarion do something in Korea? Or J-Boog or something do something in Korea?
J-Bug? I don't know if J-Bug did it. Well, no, J-Bug didn't. Omarion was the one who tried to break Rain out in the U.S., if you remember that.
That was what was happening.
The song was Man Up, and it was a bonus track on Omarion's 21 album, his sophomore album.
How did that work out?
I mean, Rain had his moment, his Vegas moment.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It was another one of those like very obvious ploys to. And also Omarion just isn't. Like his cosign isn't enough. Like he's not even as big as Rain, like global. Like you know what I mean? Like he's nowhere near Rain status.
Right.
The whole thing was just very backward. Right,
exactly. I mean that's like right. Oh my gosh.
But speaking of the 21 album, Omarion's album, Icebox is beloved by K-pop fans in Korea. I mean, yeah,
that was a great song.
That's a great song.
So fun,
but like
takes me right back.
They
to
like perform it on shows all the time.
Dude, it's so funny what
what songs.
Popular.
Yeah, like Cisco's Incomplete also is like it's just like forever solidified in like K-pop Hall of Fame.
Or it'll always be like something you like never heard of for like I remember I've had several K-pop stars tell me Tori Kelly's Dear No One or Dear Nobody or something.
I love that I love that song.
I think Jungkook from BTS loved it. Seulgi from Red Velvet loved it. Like so many people have like specifically brought. I'm like, I don't even know that. I don't even know.
Really?
I don't think the general public knows
that
song.
Good song.
I mean, I love her. I love Tori Kelly and everything. I'm just like, why this song? So random. Anyway,
it's very interesting.
Tangents, but yes. Thank you guys for the comments as always. Thank you for coming through for Team Tina because she clearly needed the help. And last but not least,
all of 2 people.
Hey, it's better than they could have shot you down, Tina. But last but not least, we of course ask you guys to vote on your favorite release of the week. Last week we talked about, of course, Sistar's Lonely, Highlights Calling You, and Astro's Baby. Coming way in first place. This is actually a bit surprising, but it was Astro's Baby with 78% of the votes. Wow. So they really came through, those fans. And Astro, I mean, I love that EP. I actually listen to the whole EP, and it's like really happy if you really like 80s joyful K-pop music. Tina's making a face, but it is like, really happy.
Might have to do a hard pass.
I'm very much enjoying it. Second place was Highlight with Calling You, 16%. And a little sad, but Sistar's Lonely came in last place with 6%. But maybe the fans were just too heartbroken to vote.
We'll go with that.
Exactly. So we'll
that comment from Peter about Macau. So we thought it was in Vegas and then Paris, and we weren't sure, or mainland China or Hong Kong, wherever. So it's actually in Macau, and they have a Parisian like set there, I guess.
Yeah.
And Macau is, I do know that Macau is very well known for its shopping. It's very like, like extravagant. So that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, exactly.
So thank you for that, Peter.
Yeah, that was
at DJ Peter Lowe on Twitter.
He cleared everything up for us. So that's an area in China, right?
Macau is separate.
Oh, it is separate. It's autonomous, or like
it's. I don't even know the exact like political like explanation, but
according to Wikipedia, it is a territory on the west side of the Pearl River Delta.
So yeah,
it's bordered by mainland China.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
But I remember a lot of when I was living in Shanghai for a bit, they would do like weekend trips or whatever trips.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but all you do there is just shop.
So it's like a bit. I mean, so it's like one of those destination areas.
Like glitzy and glamorous.
All right. Yeah, it's really tiny from what I can tell.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you everyone for all your insight, all your thoughts. There's an awesome thread going on just with like a lot of people talking about last week, or I guess it would have been 2 weeks topics ago, about like just kind of fans, K-pop fandom in general and everything. I can't like read the whole thing, but it's really great. It started with Rushina B and Amy, who jumped into the conversation as well. It's really good. You can always look up the hashtag KStop and read what people are talking about, read what your fellow listeners are talking about. Jump into the conversation if you do. You could always hit us up individually. I'm at Jeff__Benjamin.
And I'm at Hey_Tina with 3 A's.
Yes, you can leave a comment on Fuse.tv. That's also where we put a playlist of all the music we're talking about. There's so much good stuff to do with KStop. That's why you guys check us out every week, right?
Yes.
But this week is great too. There's so many good things. And yeah, I'm just excited to get into it. So Tina, who's first on the list?
Let's kick it off with Hyoyeon of Girls Generation, who I guess officially debuted with her solo release, even though she did have previous, or I guess just one previous solo release that we talked about, Mystery, which I think we liked. We more or less liked. Positive feedback.
I like this a lot more, though.
You like this one a lot more?
A lot more, yeah.
Oh, great. We can disagree.
Oh, boy. Here it comes. The battle of the
So
century.
she released Wannabe.
Yes.
Yes.
Featuring Sunny.
Featuring Sunny, yes. And Sunny's on his own separate label now, right? Or is he's not SM anymore, or he wasn't SM ever, right?
No,
Because
he was
JYP, but he
yeah.
didn't move over to
No,
SM,
he's on
right?
is it
Because I always
Brand New
think
Music?
that they feature their interlabel, like fellow label mates, but I know he's on his own label somewhere or whatever.
I think he's on Brand New Music.
Okay.
I think that's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So it's definitely it's heavily, it's like Mystery. It's more auto-tuned. It's heavy on the production. But we had agreed that Mystery was more, it has kind of a Indian influence to it.
Right, very exotic.
Yes. This one, this one's definitely more aggressive and it's faster paced. More rapping.
Much more hip hop.
I guess.
Well, actually, I would say it's half hip hop, half. Oh, like my interpretation was like that first part is like very hip hop, like some very like beats that I don't think would. I wouldn't be surprised to hear CL on or something like that. And then like the chorus and stuff like that kind of almost gets into like 60s surf pop almost. Like it's like it's like it's very like makes you want to like bob your head a little and things like that. So that was my interpretation of it.
So you like it more because why? Because of the sound itself, or because you?
Well, one, I think it's like a fresher sound,
Okay.
and I also think it better suits her because I bet it suits her specifically because I feel like Hyoyeon is someone who we don't get to see a ton from. Most of the time she's like kind of delegated to do the rap section or like she's the dancer, which doesn't mean you get to do a lot of singing, but I think this was cool because we not only got to see her, do her rap thing on the verses, but she also got to sing a bit on the choruses, and then it kind of like made for like a showcase for her to show more what she could do. Whereas Mystery was more about like it was very minimal, very like one word on the chorus, but that's allowed her to like dance more and show off more like performance wise, but it didn't exactly like work as the greatest showcase of like what she could do kind of as a overall musician artist. Not that she like needs it per se, but I like seeing more unexpected, more new things, like when people are gonna go for that solo release.
Okay. I don't dislike the song. I like certain parts of it. I like the and like in the beginning, you know what I'm saying? The production. I thought that was cool. You know what? I actually don't really like the rapping on there.
Really?
I like the chorus and I like the production. I don't really like her rapping.
I mean, it doesn't.
Because she's not really a rapper. The thing is, she was always the dancer of the group.
Right.
She doesn't really sing because that's not her strong suit at all. She's not a singer. But I wouldn't say she's a rapper. It's just her kind of talking really
Oh,
fast.
that's interesting.
Like she's not either. So
yeah, that's a good point. The
so
more
I think
about
she's
it,
a great dancer, and the choreography was really dope. If we're getting into the video, a lot of it that turned me off was just the concept itself. I thought the styling was like horrific. I thought it was so tacky. I didn't like the hair. I didn't like the braids at all.
No, me neither.
I didn't like any outfit. Maybe the last outfit where she was in the boxing ring with that kind of train on her skirt.
Was that the hustler shirt?
But I didn't like, the thing is, they could have just not had the word hustle. It just looked fucking corny.
Oh, really?
You know, if she just had like a black top on, that would have looked sleeker.
Oh, see, well, I think it was like a throw to like Hustler magazine, right? Wasn't that, is that the logo? Hustler magazine.
Oh, I don't know.
Hustler magazine is like some like old school like nudity magazine, I think, or like some like from like the 90s. Yeah.
Well, that doesn't translate over either.
No, it
I
doesn't.
thought that was just. I mean, that didn't really register with me. That didn't make sense to me.
I wonder if anyone knew that, actually. The more I think about it, I'm kind of like, wait a minute. Now that I'm saying it out loud, I'm like, oh, yeah, that was like a dirty magazine back in the day.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I think. I'm nearly positive. It was like Hustler and Playboy for a while. And
yeah.
Hustler, I think, is defunct now.
But I will say, like, if we're not talking about just the vocal parts as cohesively, I think it works better than Mystery, and like you said, shows her personal skills more, like on all fronts. I just thought the whole styling and concept was just a miss for me.
Like sometimes I remember when the teaser photos were coming, I'd be like, oh, I really like this look, and then I'd be like, oh, I really don't like this look. Like, I don't know, it just seemed like
it at all.
It just seemed like they were clearly trying to be like, okay, so this is a hip hop song, so like braids, baby, you know, bangs or whatever those, you know, like those things that like we keep seeing over and over. It's almost like become played out at this point in like K-pop, where it's like, okay, if we're gonna like go for like a more hip hop oriented sound or feel, someone's going to have these corn,
right?
What are they? I don't know the right word for the hair.
Yeah, you can. I mean, yeah,
like those cornrows, hairs, braids.
Yeah.
I sound really stupid right now. But
no, it's
with the baby hairs and everything. It's just like, I'm like, that's not part of, just because like it's not like one automatically equals the other. They don't need to follow in line with each other. You know what I'm saying? And like that's what I think if it hasn't already started, I do think that we'll eventually see like a backlash from that, you know, because remember, like, I think it was Yoon from like 4 Minute, I think, had a very similar look.
Oh yeah, she had braids in the Crazy video.
Yeah, right, exactly. Those like, you know, gel baby bangs or whatever. It's just like, I'm like, just because, you know, like, I don't know where in the styling guides, you know, of everything that everyone was like.
It seems like they're all using the same style guide for hip hop.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is like it's like is you know, it's like one of those like terrible like videos with like the white girl being like, this is how you dance hip hop, you know.
And what's ironic though, it's do you remember Katy Perry when she came out with that track with
Riff Raff,
and
that's how we do.
That's actually what she looked like.
Oh my gosh.
So people. I guess I don't want to we should probably get off our high horse since we have our own artists who are problematic.
It's very true. It's very true. 100%.
Whereas, you know, in Korea, it's like they really just don't know any better, I feel like.
It's very true.
But going back to the styling, she looked like she just picked up whatever the hell she wanted at the local garage sale. Like every item that she thought was cute, she just threw it all on.
Yeah, right.
You know, she was like, "Ooh, I like these fishnets, and I like this choker and this like shimmery jacket. I just put it all on. I don't give a fuck."
Yeah, there were a couple layering items that like weren't necessary.
Like, I feel like the boots killed me. If she had just worn like maybe plain, like, I don't know, Converses or something, it would have like toned it down a little. It just looks so tacky.
No, I agree.
But I did get. What did you think of Sonny's part?
Oh, you know what? I actually really like it.
I did too.
Because I thought it like was a nice play off of what they were going for. And like, I thought he had like a cool line where he's like, it was almost like, well, this is sort of like, I mean, it's like it's supposed to be like an empowering anthem, whatever.
Yeah,
but then at one
it's
point
very bravado.
Yeah.
You know,
but then at one point he goes like, says something. He's like, "Girl, you know I'm a feminist," or "You know I'm a feminist," or something. So like I was like, "Oh, okay, that's him being like I don't feel like I've ever heard the word feminist in like
in any
K-pop
yeah,
song."
I didn't realize it was part of the vocabulary.
Yeah, so that was kind of cool that he, while trying to get, because Hyoyeon's the wannabe girl. She's the one everyone wants.
I love the line about hashtag it girl follow me or something.
Hashtag it girl. Yeah. I know. I did like that.
I
too.
like that it was very current in its references.
It could have been
that
a
was
little
dope.
Corny. Yeah. I feel like hashtag blessed or something.
Yeah.
It could have been something like that.
Yeah.
No, but it was done well. And then it's like he's trying to say almost like, oh yeah, like I like you, or you should like me back because I'm a feminist, and and I thought that was like kind of a cool little throw. It's just something I don't really see.
And I like that they
much.
kept his part more low key to kind of balance it out. Because if he came out, looking like he went to the same garage sale, I would have quit that video. Like it's just too much.
At first, I thought
less is more.
Yeah, I was really nervous. I thought he was just gonna be like on the screen at first. I was like, oh no, he
kind
didn't
of like a
film
cop
it there.
out,
But no, he was actually there, so I was happy for that.
Yeah.
And, cool to see Sunny doing something with an SM artist. Was not expecting that. So. Hyoyeon brings the unexpected people. She got JYP and Jo Kwon. And,
oh my gosh,
and,
you're right.
Min on a song.
Everyone's just flocking to her.
She brings the people together.
Yeah.
Good for her.
Yeah. So I think I will say when I first heard the song, it was without the video. It was San's video.
Yeah.
Thank goodness, because when I just only listened to the audio, I was like, I can get behind this. It's not my favorite, but it's more or less like met my expectations. I didn't expect it to be mind-blowing just because what I've seen from her so far, whether it's through that collaboration with JYP and Jo Kwon, that mystery solo video, none of it has blown me away.
And I was going to actually bring that up too. Yeah. Do you think that's why she only got a single, even though this is her solo debut, quote unquote, official? Is that why she didn't even get, like all the other girls from Girls' Generation got an EP? Taeyeon, Tiffany, Soyeon.
But she, I feel like, doesn't have something to really fall back on. Like, Taeyeon's a singer. Right? Tiffany, she has a pretty good voice. And she was always one of the more popular members. And she has a big international reach as well. And Hyoyeon, she international fans like her too, since she's like more kind of Western and edgy and everything. But she was never like, I always thought she was a bit underappreciated, and she is one of my favorite members, but she is very underappreciated. But she's not, like I said, she's not really a rapper. She's definitely not a singer, and her choreography is not shined on that much. Like she always dances during like the quick dance break,
exactly. I guess you're right. I guess I don't even know. Because a lot of those, we always talked about how like a lot of these solo singles show different sides of them. It would probably be a lot of this. I don't think Hyoyeon's gonna pull out a ballad, and like. Oh,
she can't sing a ballad. Every song she's on is either heavily produced, or she's auto-tuned, or both, because she doesn't sing.
Right. So I guess it does make sense. Yes.
But the choreo, that's the thing. She's a good entertainer. I feel like. So the choreography was dope.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't sit here and listen to a Hyoyeon album.
Sad to say, I probably wouldn't
she
either.
sounded great on the collaboration with Taeyong on Taeyong's Y mini album, Up and Down.
Yeah, she's a good feature.
I thought that was good. I just don't think she can hold down a 3.5 to 4 minute song by herself when it's just her doing sounding the same throughout. Yeah, she doesn't have a range.
Right. No, that's true. That's very true. So
as much as I love her.
Yeah. No. She is definitely. Keep going on dance shows, Hyoyeon. Keep showing off your. Yeah. You are an entertainer, girl. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. I feel like we've exhausted this.
Yes.
So.
Moving on.
Yes, we shall. Hyoyeon.
Let's move on to a really OG veteran artist that we haven't talked about, or I don't think we've ever talked about her on K-Stop. Gummy.
Gummy,
YG Entertainment veteran.
Right.
Those who have followed YG for many years definitely know of her or are fans of her. So she is back with a new album called Stroke. Interesting title. And the title track is called, see, it looks like it's I Yo, but I think it's, oh, is this pronounced I Yo, or
I thought it was just Io.
is it? I think there are two I's though.
Really?
Yeah, it's I Yo. But in the song, she goes I Yo Yo.
Right.
So
I
that
think
was a
you're
little
right.
bit confused.
It is I.
But I wasn't sure if it was signifying of something else. But after hearing her sing it, I think it's just I Yo. And it is a ballad. She is known for her very powerful kind of R&B influenced ballads.
Yeah.
But this album as a whole, I peep some of the tracks. It's much more jazz instrumental focused. Very dope. I love it. More kind of loungy coffee shop vibe.
Ooh, I need to listen.
But this song doesn't really sound like, well, actually no. It's kind of in between. There are some songs that are more straight up ballad and some that are more kind of what I just described, the coffee shop instrumentals. This one's kind of in the middle. And I think it's kind of regular to me, the song. This is something that I've probably heard her sing a million times before.
Oh, really?
So I wasn't blown away. It was nice.
Yeah, I guess I was. I'm not. I guess I don't know like Gummy's whole career, but what I do know is that I was like expecting like, okay, here comes the dramatic ballads, and like, but I was like pleasantly surprised because like it has sort of like this fuzzy, sort of like deep string introduction to it, and I was kind of like, oh, this is really nice. And then like
it's very soothing.
Like the song ultimately, like it had like different surprises in it, and like I ended up just like really enjoying it in the end.
It is a nice listen.
Yeah, and like I was just expecting, just like this usual. I was expecting like really like crying, lyrics and like all these things, and just like only like light strings and things like that, and piano. But no, there were so many like little nice surprises, and like, so I just really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
I don't know what I-I-O means, but it was like an interesting.
I don't know if that was just something she made up or I haven't seen any comments regarding it.
No, me neither. So
I was just not sure what to expect because I've heard her. I've been listening to her since I was in high school, so like over a decade.
Yeah.
And she has an extensive catalog, of course, but in general, she kind of does more kind of laid back R&B tracks. But I remember when she was I guess more mainstream popular for a couple years was when she released the song I'm Sorry, where the video had T.O.P in it. And that song was it was okay. I don't think it was anything amazing. But then she released the song As a Man, which was extremely pop friendly, and it had two really big stars starring in the video, and that song did pretty well, if I remember correctly. So I wasn't sure if she was gonna go more that side, more pop and mainstream, or more kind of her comfort zone of doing ballads. And but I think this is more or less what people are used to hearing from her. So yeah, I liked it. The video I thought was really great. I liked that she featured Chaejun from JYJ, formerly of TVXQ. And I know he's a great actor, but I don't go out of my way to pay attention to him. So I had forgotten that he is an incredible actor.
He did awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, I loved, I was like very intrigued by the storyline too, because I was like, like,
because it seems like this would be a music video for a soundtrack of a film. That's how well done the video was. It's extremely cinematic. There was like a story, but not enough backstory to really flesh it out.
And like I was kind of like wondering kind of where this was going with it. At first I thought, oh my gosh, are they are there hints that they're lovers or something like that, or in love with each other?
I definitely got that vibe.
But then at the end though, at least when they're like kind of talking and stuff like that, it sort of seems like that it's more about just this fighter guy and this boxer guy who who just is sort of like only about victory or something like that. I don't know. I didn't like. I wasn't totally sold at the end that there was like a queer theme to it, but yeah, I don't know. Like it was just a nice story. Like there were like really nice scenes. Like I don't know, it was like heartwarming at the end.
It is. It was, and it is a very uplifting song, and just about overcoming previous hardships and obstacles and rising above all your challenges, and I think boxing is often used as you know, a metaphor for that, for what am I trying to say here, like that idea that you're trying to portray.
Like you're
so,
fighting to be on top and overcome something.
I think that was a good storyline to go with.
Yeah, it was a good backdrop for the song too.
Yeah.
But
I do wish that there was maybe some dialogue in between to give it more color.
Right.
Just because I don't really know what their relationship is and how it would have been cool to see that this guy was maybe around for his training from day one, and he's seeing him grow as a fighter. That would have probably given me more of like an emotional connection to the video.
I agree. Right, because I was hoping like maybe there'd be, or I was not hoping, but like I was thinking like, oh, maybe there's gonna be something really dramatic at the end or something.
There wasn't really like a climax to it. It was just
really.
He's helping him train, and they are along for the journey together, and he's never gonna stop working hard. And
then like he's in the ring at the very last scene. Maybe there's a part 2 coming. Who knows?
Maybe.
But yeah. No, and I like that she was in it too. You know, sometimes she's just completely devoid of these.
Yeah, I was actually nervous. I thought she wasn't gonna be in it. But she looks great. You know, she doesn't really age.
Not really, no.
Beautiful as always.
Yeah. What's your favorite Gummy song?
Okay, so the song is from like, I want to say like 06 or something. It's super random.
I love
it's called, like, the translation is the literal translation of the space between your fingers. So I guess it's like when you're peeking through your fingers, you're looking through that space. So that's what the English translation is. It's on one of her, maybe it was the 4th mini album or 3rd. It's really early. If y'all ever look that up, it's a really, really good song. It's slow though, but it you might like it because it gradually builds up. So it starts off really soft and gets stronger.
I need to look into this. I love it. Well, thanks for that. I don't know if I have a
I'll see if I can
songs.
find it. It wasn't a single. It was just something that back when I still downloaded music rather than stream it, and it was
illegally.
I guess illegally. It was a direct download.
Gosh. Oh my gosh.
Well, it wasn't through through a file sharing system or anything.
All right, if you say so. Well, cool. That's Gummy for you. Let us know what you guys think of Gummy. If you have any favorite Gummy memories for you OGs out there. You OG
I didn't know
K-pop
she was
bands.
even dropping a new album. This one's really good if you like instrumentals and
I need to listen.
Jazzy vibes.
I'm sure I'm really gonna like it. I just added it to my
good.
Apple Music. And last but not least, a new one on the scene, new girl on the scene, Suran, who has dropped her new single that features Dean. 1 + 1 = 0. This is off her Walk-In EP. Suran is, I don't really know where she came from, to be honest. Or I think she was kind of working a lot with Dean and that group of people. And I know, I think she featured on like a song with Suga from BTS, and Suga produced a song on this EP. So she's been kind of around for a moment.
Yeah, she was, I believe, part of a duo a few years back, but then she, not long after they debuted as a duo, she debuted as a solo artist.
Really?
And this was like end of 2014.
Oh, okay. She's still pretty new.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, she's like a couple years older than me. She's 30, which is she doesn't look 30, obviously, and not saying that 30 is old, but in the K-pop industry, you would think that by 30 you're more or less a veteran, but she's kind of a newcomer. I don't know if she started off as a producer or something, or if she just she's got started in her career late.
Yeah.
But yeah, she works with, you know, more of the indie crowd, I would say, for hip hop, R&B.
Yeah. But it seems like she's getting a great response. I mean, just like to get right into like the single, the 1+1 = 0 song, I like really like this and was pleasantly surprised by, because I'll be honest, I heard there was a song Wine featuring BTS's Sugar, and I heard it and I was a little underwhelmed by it, or I didn't love it, or I wasn't like, I was like, okay, like I kind of get what they're going for, but it wasn't like something that like blew my mind or anything like that. And so I was like, oh, okay, well, maybe because I heard a lot of hype about her. I knew all these, kept hearing these great things about her, and then like that song was a little disappointing. But I hear it's like a big hit in Korea.
Oh,
but
really?
then
it's funny how that works.
It is funny how that works. But then this song came out, and like I listened to it, and I was like, oh my gosh, like this EP is also like, I'm so curious now, and like I listened to the EP, and I really like it, and I really like this 1+1 = 0 song. It sounds to me like almost like a Pharrell-esque type track. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that kind of production.
It's definitely edgier, funkier.
So much funk.
It's definitely quirkier.
Yeah.
I like that they kicked it off right with Dean's vocals. You know, as soon as the song opened, you could hear him.
Yeah, right.
So it really set the tone, since Dean fans who are familiar with his music. He has a very kind of like soulful, groovy edge.
Set a nice mood from the beginning.
Yeah. But the pace was still a quicker pace, the song, you know?
Right. Quicker than a lot of the other stuff on the album.
Yeah.
So I was a big fan of it. You know, I just really loved like, she has a bit of a weird voice. Like that's not a bad thing.
She sounds a little like highs in certain points, but only when she's more vocalizing. When she, you know,
she's going to those high notes,
higher notes, she sounds a little bit like highs.
Yeah, I know. It's like this but it's like strangely like hypnotizing. Like I'm just like very into it. Like I don't really know. It's not like it's I just keep calling it weird, because like it's not like a bad or good thing. It's just weird, and like it's just like she just sounds.
I mean, it definitely garners attention and makes you, you know, lift your head up and think, what? Who is singing this?
Right, and it just, you know, and I looked into the lyrics, because I was just kind of really like, I was really liking just what I was hearing. I was so curious, kind of like what she was really talking about, and like I can't exactly tell if it's basically like kind of like a plea to someone to like stop working so hard and like, you know, like live in the moment, or live in like this love that like you're sort of seeing. And I couldn't really tell if it was supposed to be almost like a plea to yourself, or like a plea to like remind people like don't work too hard, or like don't stress too much, or if it was like a plea to like a lover, like don't work so hard, you know, I'm here for you, all these things. And either way, I really liked it.
I think it can be taken through any of those perspectives. I took it as they're saying it to whoever the listener is. Of course, in the video, I'm assuming it's about the girl.
Yeah, because that's what changed my mind.
Yeah. So it's funny because like Suran, there aren't a whole lot of photos of her, and sometimes based on makeup and styling, sometimes you can get people to look very similar. So like on YouTube, there's this whole thread about is that girl Suran? We're like, no, that's a model. That's not her. Like Dean's not in the video, unfortunately.
Right.
But I like that even without the two of them in there, the production of it was really different.
Yeah.
It was very quirky, and like 80% of it was live action. The last 20% was cartoon drawn.
Right.
You know?
Right.
But there was a storyline to it. This office girl who was working herself to death and never having a moment to be in paradise or experience really just letting loose. She's just, you know, working her corporate 9 to 6 and doesn't seem happy.
No.
I'm a little confused as to where the 1+1 = 0 plays in.
Yeah.
I'm just not really getting it.
I mean, I guess like, I kind of was like thinking about that too. Like, it's kind of like this this is like my deeper, you know, when I'm like, you know, coming home on the subway and I'm thinking about, you know, everything.
Hard.
And I'm just like, well, maybe it's like this, you know, like it could go two ways. It's like you would work hard and, you know, like you keep doing stuff to add on to things, but it's ultimately empty. Like you're working towards something, but it ultimately is empty. Or it could be, and my other thought was like, you are doing things that should make sense together, but it doesn't like 1 + 1 = 2, right? But it ultimately is giving you an answer that you don't need.
But it's like, or it's like, okay. Or
so you're either working towards something that's ultimately fruitless or like something that doesn't make sense.
Okay. So what you think should make sense is not, or something. Okay.
Yeah,
I
that's
like
what
that.
I took. I mean, I'm getting really deep lately
No,
with
I
these
like
these
that.
analyses.
Yeah.
But
if anyone else has any other theories,
oh yes, please.
or if they actually address this, you know, in
maybe.
any sort of interview,
right.
hashtag K-Stop, let us know.
Please do. Yes.
But no, I really like that analysis.
Thank you. And I will say I really like the EP too. I don't know if you got to listen to it.
So
or anything.
good.
You did listen to it.
That first track is everything.
Walking. I think it's my favorite.
That song's amazing.
I really like Walking. I like Yo. Featuring Swings. Did you like the Wine track?
I thought it was okay.
Yeah.
It was okay. The one with Changmo is different. That's the next track, right? After Wine.
Oh, Baby.
That's the one produced by Suga, correct?
Wine is produced by Suga, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So so Wine is track number 3?
Yeah.
Okay, so track number 4 is the one featuring Changmo, correct?
I think it doesn't I don't think he's credited, but I think that has to be it because the other one has
And there's
Swings on
6
it.
tracks total?
According to Apple Music, there are only 5. Is this is this one you're listening to? I love that album cover, by the way.
Wine is the one with Changmo.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, it says here.
Oh, so maybe you do like that one.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I like it more than I dislike it. I don't love it.
Oh, okay.
I like Changmo, so I expected maybe more from the collaboration.
I think Suga produced it. Maybe
he did
he's not
produce
featuring
it. Yeah,
on
he's not featuring.
I see.
I was confused for a second. I was like imagining the track list. I was like, I don't remember seeing him as a featured artist.
Right. I see. All right. Yeah, it's all in Korean, so I can't read. But yeah, that song's been like a huge hit in Korea. Like I think it either went to number 1 or still is like in the top 10. Like it's doing really well. So that's like very interesting to see. And like I remember like I was reading, she like gave this interview saying that like, you know, I didn't just like choose a Suga song or I didn't ask for it because I knew it'd be a hit. She's like I asked for it, or like he actually asked me if I would do it. So it's like really cool to see like she's getting like her
yeah,
her
I like
nods.
that whole trio coming together.
Yeah, no, it's really cool. I'm really excited to see. Yeah, she might become like my new like, you know, alt R&B fave girl or something. I just really, I'm
she's
really
a really
impressed.
good kind of chill Sunday artist as well.
I was just going through all the tracks at the gym yesterday. I was just like, oh my god, I love this one too. I was like walking. I was like, this is an anthem. I was really enjoying it. So.
Well, how'd you feel about Dean's feature on the track?
Oh, I thought it was perfect. Like just that song actually is a bit different than everything else on the album. I feel like.
Yeah.
And it's not a bad thing or anything like that. It's just, you know, it's very Pharrell. It's very like funk driven, and like I get why they chose it as a single. You know, it like definitely has that more wider mainstream appeal.
Yeah.
But I'll be interested to see if it does well or.
I like that she's very genre defying.
Yeah.
You know, can't classify her under one particular genre. So she does have more, you know, potential to appeal to more people.
Yeah.
And I like that she like is really edgy and thinks outside the box.
Yeah.
Granted, she's not the only mind behind the video. I noticed that the agency that made her this video is the same agency that made the Gummy video.
Well, yeah, I was like when I saw the it's called because I think it's her. I think that's the same Million Market or something. Yeah. And I was like, wait a minute, didn't I just see this? And then I was like, no, I didn't. But yeah, you're so right.
Right. And like, I peeped their website and they have done a lot of videos. They work a lot with Kisum.
Oh, really?
Who I'm not familiar with as much, but really, they had like I think like 3 at least videos on that website. So yeah, I love that they're kind of like this edgy indie-ish, you know, agency, and you can see that production style come through in both videos. So it makes sense.
I'm totally digging it. Yeah, exactly.
Very on brand.
There's something for everyone. I love it. So who gets your vote for the best release of the week?
I'd say Suran.
Me too.
Yay!
We agree.
I'm surprised you didn't say Hyoyeon, but I guess it's more you like that song for her.
Yes.
Right. Okay. That makes sense.
I just like what it gives me. Yeah. All right. So cool. So let us know what you guys what your guys' favorite releases were. Oh, by the way, do people in Korea, do they really clock in like that with the stamps hanging from the wall? That was my last question.
I don't know.
Did you ever have to do anything like that in China or anything like that?
No.
Okay. Because I was like, I would think everything would be
that's more just a visual
Oh,
exaggeration. I
see.
think, you
Right.
know, I guess it also depends on your company, but I
Right.
don't think
It
that's
just seems
a
like
thing.
it'd be pretty easy to like
Yeah.
fake that.
I think that was just more a visual component. It looks cooler to do that than show your computer screen you're clocking in. So
or like a punch card or something.
yeah.
All right, cool. All right, let's quickly get into some charts right now where we take a look at the top 5 songs on US iTunes right now. Coming at number 5. Okay, this is interesting. It's like okay, it's called Never by Sons of People, but this is from Produce
what?
101.
Oh.
So it's the new boy group or whatever, and like they release
Produce 101
yeah,
or
everyone calls it that,
something.
Produce 101. And I will say, someone actually recommended I listen to Never because it's doing really well in Korea, and it's just like really good EDM song if you're in the mood for
Oh
an
God, is
EDM
it like
song.
is it super extra though?
It's a little extra.
Am I gonna want to
but
tear my ears off? I
don't
can't
wanna
when it's
tear
I can't when
your
it's
ears
so
off.
extra.
No, it's actually pretty good. Or I was listening, I was like, wow, this is really good EDM. But that looks like it's like the standout song from Produce 101.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, they like, I guess they broke them up into like different groups because there's 35 of them left or something. I don't know. I haven't been watching the Produce 101 as much. It doesn't sound like the K-Stop listeners are as much either, but
Yeah, we haven't gotten any,
yeah.
tweets about it.
Right. Everyone's so excited about the girls, not the boys, apparently. But yeah, moving on. Number 4, Save Me by BTS. I don't know how. Oh, you know what? Did they release some video or something or some dance video? I heard.
Maybe they hit another milestone.
It's possible. Oh, I think they might have just hit like 100 million views of
Something
Save
like
Me.
that.
Yeah, you might be right. So again, early fans are just buying that track in loads.
They're like, yes.
Great. Hits here. Number 3, Don't Wanna Cry by 17.
Great
doing
song
well.
still.
Still love it. Number 2, Not Today by BTS. Okay, this song will literally never leave.
Never.
And number
It's
1.
not even like I don't even love that song.
I mean,
It's,
it's
like,
just
regular
it's their most
to me.
recent single, so I guess it just continues to do well.
Yeah.
And then number 1, Lonely by Sistar. So that's a
Oh,
nice
okay.
little goodbye to them.
Yeah.
I wonder if it'll do.
Yay,
I think it was like
Sistar.
number 2 last week. So
Yeah.
yeah. But anyway,
Still slaying.
still slaying, still number 1. Go Sistar, we love you. And then yeah, last but not least, we got a not so happy topic to talk about this week. We feel like
Yeah.
we got to talk about it though. So it's a little hazy because like it's very tough to get to totally follow media reports in Korea right now, but basically this is sort of like a breaking, developing, whatever you want to call it, story. It's with Big Bang's top, T.O.P, who he was, so basically the backstory real quick is this has been happening for a couple days, is that a magazine or something like that revealed him smoking marijuana, which is illegal in Korea, like totally illegal.
So you have to observe the facts and the situation from the lens that Korea media is obviously going to be extremely harsh because it is illegal there.
Yeah.
Whereas the US is a completely separate situation. So
Right.
we have to remain as like objective as possible.
Yes. So simply looking at the facts, yeah, it was so offensive though, this offense, that he was getting discharged from current, because we talked about it in the past, he's currently serving in his military service, but he got what a lot of people would say he's not an active duty, he's not an active duty soldier, he's doing the police work or police
Right.
men, which
Because most celebs do tend to do more either safer jobs or more administrative ones or ones where you're not just on the front lines or something like that.
Right. So that's what he's been doing. But basically, because of this, he's getting discharged from that position. He's now, I guess, has to go to court for this
and re-enlist
into a new sect, which will probably be active duty, because I don't think they're going to give him something easier. But the latest, though, with all this has happened most recently, is that he was reportedly found unconscious and was brought to the hospital, seemingly overdosing on painkillers or tranquilizers of some sort, or something for anxiety.
We've heard nerve relaxants. We've heard different terms used, but what we gather is that it was medication to calm his nerves, because I'm sure in this very stressful time, he's having panic attacks, more or less, and anxiety attacks, is what I'm inferring from this.
Right, or exactly. So it sounds like, it was. So, I trust Soompi.com, because they've been around for so long. They only publish. They only publish. Their whole thing is that they only publish reports that have been verified and things like that. So they said an exclusive report from Osin, which is a news outlet in Korea, said that he was found unconscious the morning of June 6, rushed to the hospital. He was in the intensive care unit, and has since been unconscious. They call it, or they quoted someone saying it's excessive drug use, and that he was having a hard time because of events, but his stress reached a breaking point. And that, this is what happens. So, so YG, source from YG allegedly said, this is also coming from Soompi, that he was taken to the intensive care unit. He normally takes tranquilizers, but
it just sounds so dramatic, the word tranquilizer. I'm like, I think of animals and horses.
100%. I think of horse tranquilizers, which they do prescribe to humans, when they're really shooken up and things like that. But
maybe that is accurate.
It could be
to use that.
I do wonder if there's something getting lost in translation, because anxiety medication can be anything from a very small dose of Prozac, which a lot of people take, for day-to-day stuff, to something like Klonopin, something a little more intense, to something like tranquilizers, where your whole body kind of, does have I think, painkillers is another word, I think, for tranquilizers, right? Or is painkillers
I'm not
a
too
little
sure.
less intense? But so YG said the police told them that he took more than usual this time when it comes to his tranquilizers. So apparently he had not regained consciousness, and that was sort of the that's what made things worrisome.
Right.
Then the police shared an update, and then they said he was on standby. He took prescription tranquilizers and went to sleep, but that he just kind of kept being, he wasn't responding well to the medication. His eyes weren't opening. He was sweating, unable to wake up. So they took him to the emergency room, where they did tests, and he responded well. He's just sort of needs to wake up from this sort of unconscious state. Okay. But so they say he's not in critical condition anymore. And once
it's so scary, because when we saw tweets, it said he was in the ICU.
Right.
And when you think ICU, it's these are people who are on the verge of death.
Yeah. So and that's the thing. It seems like it just needs to sort of flush out of his system for a day or two. But personally, I saw things like T.O.P just try to commit suicide, and I'm like, oh my gosh, people thinking that this was his way of not being able to deal with things, and it's just
because your mind always goes to the worst, right?
Of course. And I think when you see things from, especially when it's coming secondhand from another sort, and I think people in Korea would totally agree with me with this, that Korean media is not always so reliable. I saw so many annoying updates coming from Western sites and English sites that were translated. And this is why shout outs to Soompi, always coming with the good. They only had 3 updates. I saw some sites have update number 8, and I'm like, oh my god, really? Update number 8 in the one tweet? I was like, come on. But anyway,
taking some random fact and just running with it, or not fact, random tidbit and just
yeah. Well, and it reminded me
running with
personally a lot of what was. Do you remember when that tragedy happened with Ladies Code?
Yeah.
And that whole thing. I remember I was trying to report on that as well, and it was just this sort of crazy story where I couldn't get any. And look, I was really proud of myself that I only reported facts for who I was reporting for at that time. But yeah, it is so tough and so intense. And in one wrong thing,
to
you
weed
could,
out all of that, find
especially
the actual fragments of truth.
Right. And when you're looking at when you are sort of a gateway to a lot of people, you know, especially the English speaking public, you know, it's really tough.
Right,
and I'm looking at, you know, I was talking right before this, we were doing a little research, and like it said, like, I'm seeing on Cosmopolitan right now that it's like T.O.P takes suspected overdose on, like, and I'm like, Cosmopolitan, like, when have you talked about
yeah,
we've
that's so
talked
strange.
about K-pop, but also like or a suspected has reportedly been hospitalized after a suspected drug overdose, and that just sounds like the worst, you know.
Right.
Or it's like it could be, it just so it's really tough, really sensitive. But I'm glad it seems like things are at least calming down.
Right.
It seems like things are stable or going to be stable soon enough. But I think it's like a good, you know, we wanted to talk about it because we want to just talk about the reaction, the ultimate, what the quote unquote crime was, his reaction, the general public's reaction, you know, and how what's your kind of take on it, or what was going through your head right now?
It was just, I was just thinking how quickly things escalated when the whole news broke that he got busted. We're like, okay, like there were jokes about GD being like, bro, no worries, I got you covered. I know what to tell him, you know. Like I saw a bunch of memes being used for this, and it was a joke. It was taken kind of lightly because I don't think anyone was really surprised that T.O.P smoked pot. And granted, these are all, you know, American people that I follow on Twitter. So like here, the culture is different. We take it lightly. It's not that serious. People thought it was funny, or you know, it was a non-news story for us.
Yeah, like some of our coworkers are like, oh, I like him more now
that he likes smokes pot, right?
Yeah.
But obviously we observe it in a completely different lens. Yeah. And so then all of a sudden it was like people realized that yes, they're taking this extremely seriously in Korea. He was discharged from the army. He has to re-enlist. This is actually affecting his life and potentially derailing his plans in life. Yeah. Like, that's kind of bad.
Right.
But for this to take this kind of turn where he's suddenly unconscious in the ICU, it was just, I did not think it was going to take this kind of turn.
Right.
And
of course, like the second I saw it, like this morning, just like, or I just saw like tweets like, oh no, T.O.P and thing. I like woke up early this morning and like saw, I was like, oh no, what happened? You know?
And I'm just wondering how it's been nothing but warm support and prayers and thoughts for T.O.P here. But I think in Korea, I wonder how they're taking this, because they of course are cracking down, and you know what is frowned upon there is different from here. Over there, drunk driving is a huge deal. Right. Here it is a big deal too, but I think people don't see it to be, they don't treat it as seriously as should be treated, right? Yeah, over there, I remember Baekhyun of One Time, who's also old school YG. They're disbanded now, but he was caught drunk driving one time, I believe, and he took the subway for like a year after that because the public, he was just so ashamed of himself. So like that's just an example of something that, you know, is treated and seen very differently over there and has much more serious consequences. But of course, when you're a celebrity, the spotlight is on you. So, I just wonder how they are seeing this. Are they going to soften up a little? Will the media soften up because he is, you know, in the hospital? Or will they say, oh, he brought this upon himself? I just don't know, because I don't keep up with Korean outlets, nor can I read the Korean, so I don't know what people are saying.
No, it's so tough. And like, you know, there's like sites like Netizen Buzz or whatever, which I don't really trust that often, because I notice it seems to be this person picks on certain celebrities. There's always negative articles about certain celebrities. There's positive articles about other celebrities. So I don't really trust
For
them.
sure, yeah.
But you know, they are a site that translates the commenters, like Korean
Oh, that's
commenters on
right,
like
right,
news
right.
sites. So you know, and I was looking at it when he got discharged, and it just seemed like they were just really harsh on like Top, and just like
And
that
these are all
things-
Korean netizens?
So yeah, so that's
Okay.
the whole website, is that like
Okay.
they take like, you know, the top comments on these, you know,
Okay.
popular news articles on Naver and the forums and things like that, and translate them. But granted, I think the person also, I don't know if it's a boy or girl or whoever runs it, but like I think they take a select amount. I think
Right. They
these
pick and
comments-
choose. They
yeah.
cherry pick which ones to showcase.
So,
yeah.
So yeah, like I don't know. It's like, so I saw some really, really harsh comments about Top. Like they're like, oh, about him and about YG in general, like just how, you know, and people were saying that, you know, I saw some people saying that now that there's a new president, you guys aren't going to get away with this stuff anymore. And I was just like, wow, like this is crazy.
So they're more or less targeting the entertainment industry or just YG?
Targeting him, but also targeting, like
They
YG.
probably,
and,
they're probably thinking like, oh, YG, like their whole agency is just fucking ratchet, and you know,
yeah,
you know,
right.
living that lifestyle.
But then I was reading the comments today, and it was seeming like they were like, we just wanted you to reflect, not like kill yourself or whatever, or not overdose on drugs or something
Right,
like that.
because you have control over that, and you can
right.
decide for him
It's just so
how
and then,
to react to your backlash.
Yeah, exactly. And then I saw people saying, "Oh, it was all for show." Once it was shown that he was okay, I was just like, "Wow, this is terrible."
I hate people immediately think that it's being
show.
over dramatized or sensationalized or whatever.
Remember when that's like all these things happened to Kalani, who like had a
Kehlani,
very
that was bad, and she's a girl, so that's even worse.
A young girl, you know, too, like tops 30, you know. So it's just really, really. I just can't. I just
people
really
are quick
hope,
to pass judgment, especially on situations they've never personally been a part of.
Exactly, and I can only just hope for his sake that people and he are just not reading the comments, not seeing what the general public is saying, because I can't imagine, you know, even when, and I do this all the time, you know, when it comes to, you know, because for example, like as a writer, like, you know, your stuff is very public, your writing is very public, and you know, as many awesome comments that you may get, as many supportive comments you may get, there are always the negative ones stick out.
Those
way
are the
more.
ones you remember.
Exactly.
For sure.
And it's so tough. And I know that, like, personally, like I do that, and I try not to, but like it's never easy.
Yeah, and those are the ones that eat at you, and you're like, whatever, like I could be better, you know. This is what everyone must think if one person thinks it or 5 people think it.
Right. And it totally overshadows kind of how you ultimately feel. And so, you know, he's clearly going through a really rough time, and you know, it's just like, and it's so tough too, because I think we're more empathetic to him 100%, because, you know, in New York State, for example, pot use has been decriminalized. You know, you can't even go to jail for it.
People are pushing for it to be legalized
I
for
mean, it's
everything, not just
states.
Medicinal, you know. It's
yes, I you know, and however you may think about, you know, legal pot use or whatever it might be, you know, the fact of the matter remains is that, you know, when you're thinking about it with the lens of Korea, it's illegal. You know, it's like there you could, I think it's you could get up to 1 to 5 years in prison. It's like a $50,000 fine. You know, in certain countries in Asia, I'm pretty sure like it could be the death penalty, right? Like in the Philippines, isn't it the death
I have
penalty?
No idea.
If like you get caught with pot, like it can be like really intense.
Right. So definitely how Eastern and then Asian countries in general view drugs, and they just, it's like an umbrella term for, like, they don't care what kind of drug it is or what it may or may not be used for. It's just the whole term drugs is just horribly negative. So it carries, it holds, you know, a different sort of meaning and connotation over there. So
no, exact. And you know, like I'm even thinking about, sorry, I actually don't think you get the death penalty in the Philippines. I'm thinking of somewhere else.
Sorry, Philippines.
But sorry, Philippines. But you know, I'm even thinking about, you know, when Park Bom got so criticized and just so taken down for her legal prescription drug use, but it was, for some reason, it was prescribed to her legally in the U.S., but not, you know, it's just like, And I was just like, why is she just getting, pummeled by this? And, I guess you do have to think of it through this other lens, or there's a different lens to see it through. And it's so unfortunate.
Everything
and
is,
sad.
It's very black and white with them. It's like, it's either a drug or it's not. They don't care if it was legally prescribed at the time. They don't care if you needed it at the time or if it's not, because this drug, if you remember, we're still talking about Pak Bom, but I don't think it was available in Korea, and that's why she couldn't get it there. I'm like, you can't say that it's illegal if y'all don't even have it and she needs it. Like, I just, like, it's so black and white to the extent where it's almost kind of absurd,
Right.
And like in this situation, it definitely doesn't seem like he was abusing hard drugs or recreational drugs. He needed this for a disorder.
Right. And like, it's not like it was heroin or crystal meth or something like that, because
no.
like, I don't know, it's really, really, it's so tough. And definitely trying to see both sides of it and things like that. But pot is just this really controversial thing. I don't know if you've been seeing, like, there's this other news story going around that, like, Guyan of Brown Eyed Girls, like, some story.
I saw that about how she, like, refused to cooperate and didn't want to go to the doctor for an investigation.
Something. Well, it was about that, but also about how some story is coming out about how she's revealed that she was offered marijuana once and she turned it down. And I was like, wow, like, that's a story, like, being offered marijuana. It's not like, I could see someone, I what does that say that, like, that's controversial, that like, when you're like, I was offered pot, like,
I was like, okay.
Like, I've never been offered, like, heroin, but, like, to be hanging out with people who are offering you heroin might say something about the situations you're in, but, like, to be offered pot is sort of, it's very strange to think about that.
It is all relative, right? Like, because in Korea, people don't just you can't have pot. Like, to have access to pot, you must be not run in the right circles,
Exactly. That was sort of my takeaway, was that, okay, I have to relate this to, like, a sort of a different level of, sort of danger, or sort of, whatever, provocative controversy, whatever you want to call it,
Yeah.
So I thought that it sort of was another perspective for me to, take in. But yeah, I don't know. It's just, it's so tricky. And, we've talked about sort of how mental health is being talked about more and more in K-pop and things like that. And, it's a little sad to know that, I can't imagine this was the first time it doesn't sound like it was the first time he ever took tranquilizers, or it sounds like this is what he takes to go to sleep or calm himself down. So already there was sort of this issue here of feeling like, you don't take this stuff unless you are feeling pressures or internal pressures, mental pressures.
And T.O.P does strike me as someone who he's not going to be super vocal about
I could see that,
his struggles, right? He's a man of fewish words, right? He's more in the background. He's not flashy.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that, he's flashy when he's rapping back in the day when he was an underground rapper. His persona on stage is not his persona off stage.
Right.
So
he seems to be one who internalizes a lot of things.
He does definitely internalize it. So, it's sad that this is overshadowing the, I think, an underlying bigger issue of the fact that he needs help to settle his mental and emotional issues.
No, exactly.
And I think it's interesting that it's just the timing was also very unfortunate, because G-Dragon went through a similar situation too, where they checked his hair follicles and it was like, you smoked weed. But G-Dragon wasn't enlisted. He didn't leave the industry on a really good note, and was praised, and now he's kicked out and being spat on essentially by the media. So and just the really idea of having to go through all of the legal issues and then have to re-enlist. He was in there for, like, what, a year already? 6 months?
No, 4 months.
Oh, sorry. I was like 6 months? Okay.
No, exactly. Like, G-Dragon could calculate his next move. Like, he could figure out, okay, they could say, okay, you're going to be, or same with, like, the one-time guy. Like, they could be like, okay, your next move is doing this. People will see you.
Right.
You can, but with T.O.P, it's like, oh gosh, like, it's going to be a while until he can kind of figure things, get even
and
the
kind of
chance
try to
figure
repair
things.
his image.
Yeah,
He's stuck with, he has other legal issues and
Yeah.
freaking national military issues to deal with. He's kind of stuck.
It's so heartbreaking. I mean, yeah, I do think it's heartbreaking. You know, it's just unfortunate timing. You know, like people make mistakes. Everyone, you know, and like the fact that some other people had the more fortunate timing, and their careers are mostly fine.
Yeah.
You know, it's definitely sad.
Yeah.
So I mostly, I'm hoping he recovers soon, hoping things get
Right.
you know.
I'm just really hoping that's a matter of flushing it out of his system, since if he took so much, then it makes sense that his body is not fully out of his unconscious state.
Sure. Yeah. No, exactly.
But I'm sure hopefully by the time this episode posts and is heard that there are more positive developments.
Yes, exactly. We of course are only like reporting on just what we have heard most recently. It doesn't look like there's been any other updates since then. But I'll be you know what I'm also kind of curious about, to see if the West responds to this at all. You know, like kind of like, because I think I saw it on like an ABC News thing. Like, I don't know. Like, I'll be curious if anyone's going to be, picking up on this, or if it's going to be like the trendy top, or how is it going to be treated? Because to us, we might be like, oh, he just like took some painkillers and like, because he was stressed out about getting caught with pot. What?
Right.
But it might be interesting to kind of have some other perspectives and things like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. But we did see there was this hashtag going around. I think it's called what was it called? It was called Stay Strong T.O.P. Stay Strong Top on Twitter. It was trending worldwide. So
of course,
show your support for him. I say we stay positive in the meantime, and we'll see what happens next.
Yeah. Oh,
but
Top.
Oh, Top. We're wishing the best for you. We're wishing the best for all of you K-Stop listeners. Everyone stay healthy, happy, and of course, just talk to us about K-pop. What's happier than that?
Or let us know your thoughts on the situation.
Yes, please do. What's your take?
If there's any key info or updates, we we'll have some updates.
For sure.
Not in this episode, but let us know your thoughts on any of the releases on this topic.
Yes.
Favorite top moments or something.
Oh yeah, that's
stuff
nice.
like that.
Yes, exactly. Favorite blue hair. Favorite hair color.
Favorite hair color. Because he has such strong facial features, he can pull off any hairstyle.
Literally any hairstyle.
I did like him in the GD and Top promo era, where his hair was silver.
Good one.
Yes.
Love it. Well, yes, let us know what you guys think. And as always, we'll talk to you next week. So this has been Jeff.
And this is Tina.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye-bye.